They enjoyed the fleeting notoriety, but they had traded it to be on the field. There was a photo of the boys. There's a photo of this team in the bleachers watching the game. You could see the disappointment in their eyes. John Rivers, I asked John Rivers about this. He said, I can remember those cheers like it was yesterday. And it's been 60 years. Early the next day, the Cannon Street guys got on their bus, their repaired bus, and went back to Charleston. They returned on August 28, 1955, the same day that Emmett Till, not much older than them, not much older than those boys, was murdered in Money, Mississippi. Till's mother had put her son on a train and said goodbye in Chicago. Emmett Till was full of the dough. He was a big kid. But in Chicago, he could speak his mind, not in Money, Mississippi. He just celebrated his 14th birthday. He was told, you need to watch what you say, son. A few days after Till arrived in Money, he had the temerity to speak or perhaps whistle at a white woman, Carolyn Bryant. Her husband and her husband's half-brother were out of town. When they got home, she told them. Roy Bryant and J.W. Millam went to Till's uncle's house and demanded to know where the boy was. They ripped Till from his uncle's barn, viciously beat him, gouged out one of his eyes, and shot him through the head before dumping his body into the Tallahatchie River. His body was weighed down by a 70-pound cotton gin and barbed wire. Till's mother insisted that her son have an open casket so the country could see what had been done to him. Millam and Bryant were exonerated and then did a magazine interview where they bragged about killing the boy. Emmett Till became the poster child for brutality of Southern bigotry, and Rosa Parks became the First Lady of Civil Rights. On December 1st, 1955, a little over 3 months after the Cannon Street boys returned home, the 40-year-old black woman refused to give a receipt to a white man on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. She was arrested. In response, thousands of blacks boycotted the city buses, which nearly forced the city's transit system into bankruptcy. The U.S. Supreme Court declared segregated buses were unconstitutional. The story of Rosa Parks and the Montgomery bus boycott remains one of the defining events of the Civil Rights Movement. During the summer of 1955, the Cannon Street boys were not quite old enough to see the futility of dreams or to give up on their dreams. They had big dreams. And there, for a short time, it appeared they might have the chance to live the one that all little leaguers dream of, playing in the Little League World Series. But that dream, too, would be deferred to another black team, another time. In the 1951 poem, Langston Hughes asked, what happens to a dream deferred? But Hughes' poem, it asks more questions than it answers. As a child of segregated America, you had a lot of questions and not very many answers, at least not very many answers that were sufficient. How many black children grew up knowing that no matter how good they were, they wouldn't be good enough? What happens when you come face to face with the inexorable reality that for reasons beyond your comprehension, you will never be good enough? Even when you could see for yourself that you are good enough. The Cannon Street All-Stars came back from Williamsport, forever changed. Many of them were so angry they quit playing baseball. They eventually grew up and moved on with their lives, just as the civil rights movement swept through the South. Many of these men went on to college, became successful as teachers and architects, others did. One ended up in jail. Others ended up as janitors. But for all they achieved in life, or did not achieve in life, the Cannon Street All-Stars remembered the summer of 1955, even as everyone else forgot it. John Rivers, who played for that team and became very successful, summarized the moral of the story as follows. It's a tragedy to take dreams away from youngsters. I knew it then. I know it now. And I've seen to it that no one takes dreams away from me